Hey there guys, thanks for tuning into my channel, Pips-N-Chits. My name is Jason and today we are going to be playing the late 2023 flip and write game, Pioneer Rails by Dranda Games. And this, like I said, is a flip and write, and it is one to many. It's kind of beginning to intermediate. There's not a lot of setup here. This happens to be the Kickstarter version of the game, which includes some additional maps and some expansions that aren't in the retail version of the game. However, you could go to Dranda Games, I believe, and order those. I believe they have some print and play copies, and you can order from the website there and get additional the pads. So without further ado, we're going to jump right down to the table and get into it. There are other videos out there that show you how to play. I'm going to talk about it as we play, but I'm going to be playing solo. So it's going to be me versus the bot, if you will. And we're trying to beat a base score of 60 points. Now, it can seemingly get harder if I don't meet some challenges. For every challenge that I do not conquer complete, we add an additional 10 more points. There are varying degrees of difficulty. Today, we're going to be playing not the easiest, but kind of the normal game, and I'll talk about that in a second. So let's get right down to the table and show you the layout. Okay, so here we are. Setup is relatively easy, but it does differ from the 2-player and up game. Here is our map. So you can see here, this is a double-sided map. And this, I would think, is the beginning side, the easier side, if you will. So a couple of changes that we're going to make before we get started. Right here, we are going to cross out our goals here because these are really only apply in a multiplayer game. And so we'll go ahead and cross these out. We are going to just try to beat a minimum score of 60. We'll figure out what our base score is as the game goes on. Here in the upper right-hand corner, you could put the date of the game that you played, but basically it's a name placard. You could put the name of your town or towns, if you will, or the map. The game is essentially played over 4 rounds, and each round is made up of 5 turns. And there's 2 things that we're going to do here. We are going to try to score points on the best poker hand that we have available, and also extending our trains from the 4 stations and encircling various buildings and mines and cattle ranches. And we are going to score points here on the right hand margin for gold nuggets we discover. If we can bank any of those gold nuggets in our banks, if we can encircle any of the forts, how many cattle ranches that we can sequester, how many train stations we could surround and connect networks, and how many towns that we can connect. And just to let you know, we do start the game with 1 town already circled. That's a freebie. Each one of these are worth a certain amount of points that will tally up at the end of the 4 rounds, in addition to what we do on our poker hands. So, a couple things. We have a deck of cards. These are suit cards, generally 10, Jack, Queen, King, and Ace. In the 4 different suits, we will shuffle these up. And what these will do is we are trying to build the best poker hand per round. So every round in a solo game, we are going to burn 1 card, is going to go off to the side in a discard, and then we're going to reveal 2 additional cards. And from those 2 cards, we get to pick 1 to build out our poker hand. And depending if we have a pair, 2 pair, 3 of a kind, full house, or a straight, and 4 of a kind, we score X amount of points. You notice here that there is a ×2. This is only applicable at the end of the round if we happen to travel our train tracks around the saloon here. But also, one other thing different in a solo game is you'll notice we have 3 stacks of cards here. These are objective cards, and they come in 3 different flavors, if you will. One with the train symbol here, one with a horseshoe symbol, and one with the sheriff symbol. In a solo game, we are going to shuffle these up one at a time, and we are going to draw 1 card, and this is going to be an objective that we are going to do. Now notice I'm putting these cards off to the side, and I'll tell you why in a second. So I'm shuffling this up. This will be a second objective, and finally we have a 3rd objective. Now, why are we shuffling these? Well, because now, depending on the difficulty level, this is going to be, right now, a beginner level. At the end of the game, we need to complete these 3 objectives. However, if we want to make the game slightly harder, and I am going to do that today, we're going to play not on beginner level, but we're going to play easy. So we're going to add 1 more objective, and that objective will be revealed at the beginning of round number 2. Now, you could make this medium difficulty by choosing 2 of these cards, hard by selecting 3, or legendary by selecting 4 of these cards. And at the end of or beginning at round 2, you would reveal that additional card and try to beat those objectives. For every objective that we cannot complete by the end of 4 rounds, we add 10 points. So in other words, if I do not complete this, we would add 10 to our score that we have to beat. Remind you, the base score is 60, so if we did not complete this, we would have to beat a score of 70. If there were 2 objectives we did not beat, then we would have to try to achieve a score of 80 or better. So it behooves us to go ahead and get these. So I'll shuffle that one more time. And so we're going to put this one aside, and this will be an objective that will be revealed at the end of round 1. But now the rest of these cards will go back into the box. We're not going to use them anymore for this beginner game. So we'll go ahead and reveal our 3 objectives off the top of the bat. So starting at the top here, train. Train symbol here. We want to enclose 2 train yards. And if we look at our map, we have a train yard here. And by capturing these, if you will, I have to notice here there's a 3 in this little hexagon. That means I have to put my track at least on 3 sides of this hexagon. Moving on to the next objective, which is the horseshoe. Now the horseshoe one here, this is kind of a strange one. So notice we have 4 stations out here on the map. I just have to get any 3 of these stations. It could even be one of this one and maybe not this one here. I just need to connect to the edge of the map. That's what it's showing here. You're connecting to the edge of a map. And if we do that, we will go ahead and complete this objective for 10 points. And then finally here, the last one, the sheriff, I have to encircle or acquire 2 banks. So notice there is a bank up here, there's a 2nd bank, a 3rd bank, and a 4th bank. And we won't know what this card is until the end of round number 1. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and give this one last shuffle, and we are ready to start. So remember, first card is we burn this card. This is not available for us to use, but we get the next 2 cards, and I have to decide, do I want a queen or a jack? Now you can play along with me if you want. Totally up to you. But we are going to try, again, beat a score of 60. Okay, so looking at my two cards here, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the queen. So the first thing that we want to do is select the card that we are going to choose. I'm going to choose the queen. And because it is diamonds, I have to go off the diamond. And the first thing I want to do is I think this is an objective to get to the edge of the map. And I would not mind getting a piece of gold at the same time. So I think the very first thing we're going to do is start from this corner here. And by the way, each turn you can draw up to 3 extensions on your track. There is a way to get 4th and 5th one, but that's by crossing out a town. And every time you cross out a town, you get a special ability plus 1 additional track. And remind you, we start with 1 at the beginning of the game. But I am not going to do that. I am going to go ahead and, oh boy, and also I want to sequester as many of these cattle ranches as I can from other cattle ranches. So it'd be nice to divide these 2 cattle ranches up. By the way, rocks are natural barriers, as is the river, and that'll become more apparent as the game goes on. Oh, and so is the edge of the border. So as long as we can kind of sequester one cattle ranch from another, we will go up on the cattle ranch. But starting with diamonds, where do I want to go? Well, I could go off this direction here and possibly try to connect start my journey here to this town. It would be nice to get a gold right there. It'd also be nice to sequester or start heading these off. So maybe, let's see, what else could I, well, I chose this, so why don't we just to move this game along, we're going to draw 1 track right here, 1 track right there, and 1 track right there. Now notice I placed 1 track alongside this gold nugget, and this gold nugget says I only need to have 1 track there, so I get a gold nugget. So I'll go ahead and circle that, cross that one out to indicate that I have achieved that. So that, my friends, is turn number 1. So moving on to turn number 2. Remember, we're going to go ahead and discard the first card and then draw the next 2 cards. We have a queen and an ace. Well, it would be nice to get a queen here. That would automatically give me a pair. The ace isn't bad, but notice there's already an ace there, so there's only 2 more aces in the deck here, and there are 2 more queens. So let's go for another queen. That'll get me at least 1 point because we have achieved this. That'll get me 1 star at the end of this round. But let's take a look at what we want to do off of spades. So give me a second to think about what I want to do. Okay, thought about it for a minute, and spades is actually kind of hard. This bank is way up here as one of my objectives, and I have to get 3 things around that and 3 along the train station as well. That's kind of hard to do, but I think if I could move around this here and get to this town, that might be a good strategy for me. And so using my... and by the way, you can break this up too. As long as I'm emanating from, you can continue on the tracks that you've already built out. I don't have to do all 3 here. I could do 1 and then go in a different direction. But I think for right now, I'm going to go ahead and use all 3. And starting from here, I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. And notice I've put 2 tracks next to this. I only need 1. I'm going to go ahead and take another gold nugget right here and cross that out, indicating that I've now used it. And my strategy is going to try to wrap around and get to this town here. So with that, that turn is over, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the next turn. Go ahead and burn a card. Well, there's 3 aces, so let's hope that we may get another queen. We did not. We have a jack and 10 of spades. Well, 10 of spades isn't too bad. I could theoretically continue my spade run, which isn't bad. We've already got 2 jacks, no 10s are up. So it might be better for me to go ahead and take the 10 of spades right here because I have a higher chance of getting a 2 pair. So we'll run off spades. We'll go ahead and go 1, 2, 3. And just like that, I just need to connect 1. If I get another spade, I could connect this and achieve that first, or half of that first goal of getting a bank. So moving on. We're going to burn a card. King, that's great. We have a good chance of getting another queen or a 10. Oh my gosh. Okay, that didn't work out at all. So 2 kings. We have to take a king. So I think probably going to take the king of spades. Why not? Because now I can connect this up. So we're going to go king here. And notice I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. Awesome. So we have just captured or made a destination all the way to another town. So not only do I get a town right here, I also got a bank. And at this point, I can, because I've captured a bank or surrounded a bank, I can automatically put in up to 4. Now, unfortunately, I only have 2 gold nuggets, but at any time that you surround, you have an option to go ahead and deposit up to 4 nuggets in the bank. I'm going to go ahead and do that because I've grabbed this bank right here. I'm going to go ahead and say I only have the 2 nuggets, so I'm going to go ahead and put 2 nuggets into there. And that at the end of that's going to score me an additional 4 points. I'm also have one of my 2 banks here. I've almost, I think, basically got to the edge of a map. So I've kind of have 1 here and 2 here. And by the way, when your track ends at a town, you can't continue that track anymore. If I want to continue on spades, I have to start another direction, or I could use a cross out a town and use this branch action down here, and that would allow me to fork off. It might not be a bad idea to fork off right here and kind of, start working my way up to there. But anyway, that is it for that. We have 1 more turn in this round, and we'll go ahead and burn a card. 10. Let's please be a 10 or a jack. Oh my gosh, there's another king or a jack. I wanted a 10 or a queen, but I'll take the king because the king will definitely get me a 2 pair. So we're just going to go ahead and put the king right there, and that is off diamonds. So what do we want to do? Well, this is what I could continue here and possibly connect. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. No, I can't get to that town. Oh, you know what would be nice? You know what I am going to do? I'm going to go off here. I can circle a saloon. I only need 2 sides here, so let's do that. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3. Now I've got 2 sides of this saloon, which is all I need. And I'll go ahead and circle that saloon or cross it out, doesn't matter. But down here, because I achieved this, I now get double the points this round. And basically what that turns into here is I have 2 pair. So that would be normally 2 points right here. But because I have this saloon, That is going to get me 4 points. Not too bad. Not great, but not bad. It's better than just 2 points or 1 point. And with that, we are already 1/4 of the way done with this game. And let's say, just to recap, we have made it to the edge of the map, at least in 2 different locations, right? One here and one here. And we have encircled one, or at least ran our tracks against one of our 2 banks. So with that, well, let's go ahead and get ready for round number 2. Okay, we're ready for round number 2, and I will have to admit to you guys, I already made a mistake at the beginning of the game. Because we're playing this level, I should have only revealed 2 cards, not 3 cards here. This should have been revealed at the beginning of round number 2, and this would be at the beginning of round number 3. But that's okay, not a big deal. We're gonna move on with this game anyway. It's a minor snafu, but yeah, it was incorrect. So how do we start the beginning of round number 2? Well, we take all of our cards, including the cards that we did not play, and we are going to shuffle them all back up, and we are going to start the second round. Now, again, as I just said, at this time, I would have, without foreknowledge, I would have revealed the 3rd card, but we did that by accident at the beginning of the game. But, you know, mistakes happen, so we won't reveal this one until the next round. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this mixed pretty good. And we're going to start by burning the very first card. And we have an ace and another ace. So let's take a second and think about how I want to proceed. Okay, I thought about it for a minute or so. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this ace of spades right here. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and draw 1 track right here. And because I drew that right to here, that sequesters this cattle ranch from this cattle ranch. Remember, this is a natural barrier here, the edge of the map, as is the mountain, as is the river. So at this point, these 2 are independent from each other. By doing that, I get my first cattle ranch. So I'm going to go ahead and circle 2 and cross that out. Now, that was only 1 track. I have 2 more tracks I can lay off from spades. I kind of like the idea of moving through here. So let's go 1 and 2. Right there, and I'm hoping maybe I could get this other saloon and connect up to here. Now I could, remember, I have 2 towns. I could cross out a town and branch off in a different direction here, or and continue by laying 1 additional track. So do I want to do that? If I branch, well, I could start a tunnel and go through the mountain here. That is one of the available special actions here. I could branch off and think about doing a bridge action over the water. I'm not sure I want to do that. Or I could use it just to continue this line here, and that get me, if I get 1 more diamond, I could automatically connect to that town. But you know what? I think I'm not going to do that right now. I think I'll just go ahead and proceed and see how things turn out. So this one, queen is burned, and now we have a jack and a 10. Both of them are spades. So no jack or 10 have come up here yet, so we have an equal amount. It really doesn't matter, so I'll just go ahead and take the jack anyway here. And now let me think about how do I want to work off the spades. Okay, I might do a little risk right now. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to use my first town action. I'm going to cross that off, and I am going to branch. I'm going to branch from here, and I'll tell you why. Or do I want to go here? One, two. No, I'm going to branch from right here, and that way I'm concerned. I really need to. I think these are kind of harder to get. So what I'm going to do is using that, I'm going to use my special action of branching. And remember, because I'm crossed out of town, I get an additional rail. So instead of 3 rails, I get 4 rails this turn. So my first rail... Oh, actually, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go 1. That's my branch action right here. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I have now grabbed a train station right there. So I'm going to go ahead and circle this. And at the end of the game, I get a multiplier depending on how long my longest network is. And if you had any question about me drawing to the edge of the map, I've drawn to the edge of the map here. If some people might say, well, you didn't really draw to the edge of the map. You went all there. I'm going to continue that anyway, but the fact of it is I got there, so it's kind of a moot point. Anyway, these go off, and we'll go ahead and start our third turn of round 2. We're going to go ahead and burn that card and take this. And interesting, we have a king of hearts and a 10 of diamonds. I might take the king because we've already got 1 diamond, excuse me, 1 10 here. So there's only 2 more 10s in here, but I technically have 3 more kings in here. I also like the fact that it's hearts. We could start in a new direction, and from a new station, that is. And yeah, I really would kind of like to get maybe to another, start circling some more stuff. Like, oh, like this isn't bad at all. You know what? I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to take this king right here of hearts. And I think what we'll do is we'll go 1, 2, 3. I get this gold nugget, so we'll go ahead and circle that up there. And the reason I like that is I only have to do 2 more to get this train station, and if I can make it up to here, not only do I get another town, but I sequester another cattle ranch, which is kind of what we want to do. So that was pretty, hopefully that works out. We're going to go ahead and burn a card. Well, there's an ace, so not going to get that. We have a 10 and a queen. Ooh, boy, not looking good. Both of them are in the clubs. There's already 2 10s out there. There's already 2 queens out there. I'm basically go for a straight at this point. We're not probably going to go for a saloon because I'm not going to get double points anyway. It looks like it doesn't really matter. Let's go for the queen, and hopefully we'll get at least 1 pair. And if we're really lucky, we'll get a 10, and that'll be a full straight. So let's go for the queen of clubs, and let me think about how I want to draw this out. Okay, we're going to go ahead and draw the queen of clubs from here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. I like that because not only do I get a gold nugget here, I'm starting to possibly sequester this. I did make it to the edge of the map. I have a possibility of running my train track up to here. But I like the fact that we pretty much completed this goal right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this card sideways. So well, let's go back to this card and show you real quick. So the object of the game here, in a multiplayer game, the first player that completes this would get 10 points, and all other players after the fact, if they complete it, would get 5 points. But in a solo player game, all we want to do is achieve this. We did. We connected 1, 2, and 3, and we've completed an objective, and we will not get penalized for that. And finally, we have one more turn this round. We will go ahead and burn the 10, and we will get a jack or a king. So that's too bad. If we would have got that 10, not only would that have helped us here, that would have been awesome. We would have had a straight. But at this point, it's a matter of, do I want a king or clubs? I think we'll just go ahead and take the jack. And we'll go ahead and let's think about where we want to go here off the route with clubs. Thinking about it a little bit, kind of tough decision here. I kind of like the idea of sequestering this cattle ranch. I could go in 2 different directions, excuse me, but I think I might be able to possibly get here and get another town. So why don't we go, we'll start here. We could go 1. And if I went this direction here, I could sequester that automatically, but I think it's better if I go down this way. So I'm going to go 2. And that gets me a gold nugget right there. And do I want to continue that way? Actually, if I go right here, that does sequester that, but I kind of feel like I want to get to wrap around and maybe get to a bank. I don't know if I'll get to this bank or that bank at this point. So maybe... Not sure this is 100% wise or not, but we'll go ahead and do that. And that, my friends, is wrapping up round number 2. So let's score our points here. I don't get anything right here. I only have a single pair of jacks. That's unfortunate. I did not get to a saloon. That is a measly 1 point. So let's hopefully do better here in round number 3. Okay, starting round number 3, we are now going to reveal this card. Let's go ahead and put this one off to the side up here. Remember, I have to get 2 rail stations. We got 1. We get 2 banks. I got 1, and now we'll go ahead and reveal this. Oh gosh, I have to build 2 bridges across the river. Gosh, I'm not expecting that. So that's gonna be kind of tough to do. All right, so let's go ahead and take our cards, discarded cards, and let's start a new shuffle here and get ready for round number 3. I like this little game. It's pretty fun. I kind of like the theme here. Additionally, with the expansions, it introduces some additional objective cards. There's more things to do with the saloon. There's more. There's bandits you can capture and put them in jail. That's really pretty neat right there. Oops, sorry about that. Shuffle that up again because we shouldn't have seen that. And as you can see, it's a relatively quick game. I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm trying to teach and talk and strategize all at the same time here. And let's get ready for round number 3. So we're going to burn the very first card, Queen. All right, we have a 10 of spades and an ace of clubs. Well, I kind of like the clubs because I could encircle this bank and get closer, possibly connect this town. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 5 to get there if I go that route. that would get me closer to that, but I do need to start thinking about building off the river, but none of these aren't going to do it. The only other way I could switch suits, there is a thing. If I cross out this town right here, I can actually, this special action would allow me to change this card into any suit I wanted and build off of that station. So let's say I wanted diamonds, and these aren't diamonds. Say I selected this, I could cross out a train, cross out a town, and then change this suite to from clubs to diamonds and build off of that, which would at least allow me to run the river. But we aren't going to do that. I really need towns to build across the river, and I don't have a lot of towns right now. So I think my best bet, unfortunately, is to grab this next bank. So we're going to go ahead and go 1, 2, and 3. Now, I've circled 3 tracks around here, which gets me a bank. And I will go, now I have 3 nuggets up in here. So I'm going to deposit 3 nuggets, and that will go into that group right there. I am 2 away from connecting a town, and I have now achieved 2 banks. There's 1 and 2, so this objective is now complete. We have 2 more objectives left. That's to build across the river and capture, or not capture, but enclose another train station. And we have 1 of those up here. Oh, I did not select. I should have wrote down here. Sorry about that. I should have wrote an ace down in here. So that is turn number 1. Turn 2. Go ahead and burn a card, and we are going to grab this. There's already 10 up there. There's no kings. My odds are slightly better if I get the king, so we'll go ahead and take the king. This is good because now I get to go 1, 2. I capture or complete another town. That is good news. I have 1 more track left. Oh, by the way, I sequestered this. I should have grabbed this last time. If you guys might be shouting at the screen right now. So I sequestered another cattle. The tracks have got it, and it's cornered it off from all other ones and natural barriers. So I should have grabbed a second one. So I still have 1 track left here. So where do I want to go? And that's off of clubs. Well, I kind of need some more. Let's. Wow, this might be. It would be good if I could encircle this. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this might be good to try to capture this, but I like the fact of going up to here and starting this direction. Yeah, you know what? Oh boy, tough to do. Or I could go now. Another thing I could do is I could use this to cut across. I could cut across. So one of your special actions here is they call it a shortcut, and you can only do shortcuts in the blank lands, and you start from 1 corner. So I could shortcut across right to another, the opposite corner, if you will. So let's see, does that, if I went from here to here, no. I really need to build to. I'm really concerned about this. We really have to concentrate on moving to the river. Otherwise, if we don't get that, that's 10 points against us. So, you know what though? We're gonna go ahead and go this direction right now. So, thought is maybe we go around 1, 2, 3, 4. capture a fort. That's 4 points. And that will possibly, yeah, if I kind of go this route here, the plan would be capture a fort, surround this train station, the second one, and possibly sequester this cattle and get to that town. But we'll see. We got 2 towns to spare us right now. So moving on to the next turn, burn a card. And we have a jack and a queen. What do we like here? Probably like the clubs, I think, because that would get us closer to this. But the queen, at least, well, you know, if I build the queen, this is not bad because I could get one. I could get to this town right here if I cross the river. Let me think about that for a second. Let me think. Okay, I think that is going to be my strategy. So here's what I'm contemplating here, and I'll tell you why. So looking at this, I've already got 3. There's 5 clubs, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm not going to really do too much with clubs. I'd like to possibly get around here, but I just don't see myself getting... there's not a lot of clubs that are going to come back up. But with this queen here and using a town action, I get to lay another rail. So I think I could cross the river here. Well, gosh, now I've got to think about this again. Yeah, okay, so we'll go ahead and use the queen here. And what we're going to do is we're going to have to use a river action or a town action. So I'm going to draw 1 right there. And to cross this, I'm going to, that leaves me with 2 tracks left. And I can't use those tracks to get here until I cross the river. And that's one of my objectives. So I am going to go ahead and cross out a town. And what that's going to let me do is going to go ahead and cross the river. But before I do that, that's going to add 1 more track. So mind you, I used 1. I had 2 left. This gets me an additional track. So now I still have 3 tracks. And at this point, I get to cross the river right there. And then, so that's 1. Now I'm going to go down to here. That's 2. I capture or complete to another town. I don't know why I said capture, but I get another town, and I still have 1 left. And the thing is I have to use it off of diamonds. I think I'll go right here with the idea of maybe connecting, getting this saloon and maybe connecting up to that town. So let's see, I drew 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm out of tracks, right? I could, now mind you, you can use these at any time. So if I wanted to, I could cross another town out and continue my journey, but I don't think I want to do that right now. So we'll go ahead and set that aside, and let's burn the next card and get 2 more out. And we have a jack and a queen. I think it's kind of easy for me to decide. I think I want to take that queen of clubs because that gets me a pair at least right here. And that allows me to draw 3 tracks. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I only need is 1 more to encircle this fort. And let's see. And then I getting closer to this and sequester another town or sequester another cattle ranch and get closer to that town. So it's getting kind of to the wire here. I'll burn a card, and let's see, we have a 10 and a queen. Now I think will king. I'm sorry, king of hearts. I think I'm going to take that king of hearts, and I'll tell you why. Because right now I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So I definitely have now completed this. I've got a 3 tracks around that. So that has completed that. I will not get penalized. And I have now successfully sequestered another cattle ranch because, again, water is a natural barrier, as is the side of the map, as is the tracks. So we've now gone ahead and got myself another cattle ranch at 6 points. And do I want to continue? No, I'm not going to do this. I was going to connect, but I can't really build across. So here's the thing. Once a track gets to a town, you can't extend it over. The only way to cross the river is I would have to come from this direction. I don't have a lot of places to do that, except right here off the spades. And I'd have to cross from this direction, or I could go from the diamonds and go around here. But I've already captured or used that saloon, so it doesn't really get me anywhere. I'd have to branch off, cross the river. I could possibly get to that town. But we have one more turn left. We're going to go ahead and burn this card. We have an ace, and we have a queen. So, queen. If I take the queen, that will get me 3 points because I will have 3 of a kind. If I take the ace of hearts here, that would give me 2 pair. That only gets me 2 points. So we're definitely going to take the queen. That gets me 1 more point. And I kind of like the idea of the spades because I can probably achieve this right now. So what we could do... Yeah, I think we want to maybe do that just to get this possibly out of the way. Let me think here. How do I want to cross the river? I could use 2 towns, cross that out, and go start from here, cross 1, cross the river, or use this as a shortcut, that is, go there. I have 1 track left. That would get me 1 point. Or I could start going... Oh, but that will get me... That'll block off. That would sequester me another cattle ranch. If I go 1, 2, that'll get me a gold nugget. 1, 2, 3. If I go 1... 2, 3. Oh, gosh. Might do that. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Oh. Okay, I'm going to use a town right there. So that's going to give me 1 additional track. So I have 4 tracks. I am going to go 1, 2, no, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, I want, no, okay. This is what I wanted to do. I'm going to use it as a shortcut. Sorry, I'm going to go use that as a shortcut. So from leaving here, this station here, I'm going to use a shortcut to cut across this blank land. That gives me 1, or I'm using 1 of my tracks. The second track I'm using goes right there. I've now circled a gold nugget, and I have now sequestered another cattle ranch right here because this cattle ranch is more or less enclosed. Well, not yet, actually. Oh no, it isn't. No, it's not, but it will be because I plan on using the 2 tracks right to here. So now this cattle ranch is indeed sequestered. So I've circled that. And I've also circled a saloon. So that will circle there. And I've used my last 2 tracks. Now it's the end of the turn. This is pretty cool because with this, I get to double the points here. So my queens, that's a three of a kind. That would be 3 points, but because I have the saloon, that will give me a total of 6 points. And we will get ready for the fourth and final round. Okay, getting ready for the fourth and final round. We'll go ahead and collect up all of our cards. And let's see, we'll go ahead and shuffle. All I need is to make one more bridge, and I can do that. I do have at least one town left. It'd be nice to cross right to there. That would be great. So we're looking for spades to do that. And you can see at the beginner or easy level, it's not too hard to do. Definitely if we went to the medium level, we would yet have another one objective that we would need to complete so that we don't get penalized. And I just realized it's hard to talk and shuffle and collect my thoughts all at the same time to you guys. So apologies for that. All right. We have 5 turns left. We will burn this card, and we have an ace and a heart. Well, look at that. So I like possibly getting the ace or using the ace right now. Yeah, I think I might want to do that because I can. Yeah, I can do a couple different things with that ace right now. Not that the queen isn't a bad thing, but I think I can do more with the ace right now. So I'm going to take the ace of spades, and what that's going to have me do is I'm going to use this last town to cross the river. And remind you, now I have 4 tracks because this gives me an additional track. So I'm crossing the river, and I am now getting another town. So I have 3 tracks left. If I go 1, 2 right there. So I've got 1 track left. I've got another gold nugget right there. I have 1 track left, but now I've also successfully sequestered this cattle ranch from all the other cattle ranches. So I get another cattle ranch right there. That's good. And I still have 1 track left. So I could move. Let's see. What do I want to do? This doesn't help me in any way, shape, or form. I could just go, yeah, let's do this. I don't want to, I'm going to do this. Possibly we might be able to connect to this town up here and grab this other saloon. So that is turn number 1. We have 4 turns left. Burn a card. We have clubs and spades. So just what I was talking about. If I use that spade right now, I will definitely get closer to that town. I will definitely grab that saloon. We'll be closer to sequestering yet another cattle ranch. Otherwise, queen of clubs. That's not bad either. I could grab a train. I could go 1, 2, 3, and possibly get closer to grabbing this one. This is a tough call. Let's see. So how many clubs have come out? This is the first club, so I have more chances of clubs coming out than I have spades. So why don't we use the spade? So let's go ahead and do the jack, and we'll just do what I said earlier. We are going to go 1, Do I go this way? Guess it really doesn't matter. We'll just go this way. 2 and 3. We've now grabbed that saloon right there. So not bad. We got 3 out of the 4 saloons. We just need to connect that town. And, oh, I did draw, I should have done previously. We completed all our objectives. So we just have to get 60 points. And I don't think hopefully that's not too hard to do. Okay, we're going to burn a card. And let's go ahead and flip over. Okay, not bad, not bad. I like the fact of the 10 of clubs coming out. I don't mind coming to here and, well, I could, yeah, you know what? That'll get me a fort. We're going to do it anyway. So I'm going to go, we're going to use 1 track right there. We get this very, very first fort. That's 4 points right there. 2, 3, 2, 3. I like to almost connect another town and cordon off that cattle ranch. But I could also go up here. I have 2 more left. I could go 1, 2. And at least get 1, 2. I might be able to get, I'll get another gold. Be nice to get another bank. I'm not going to get a bank, I don't think, right here. But it'd be nice to get this town. Oh boy. If I go here and across, no, I have to go this direction to possibly get that cattle ranch. How many clubs are out? 1 club, 2 clubs. We got 3 more clubs in here. So, or do I want the hearts? I could go 1, 2, 3, but I don't have any gold nuggets. No, we'll stick with the clubs, and we'll do 1, 2, 3. Okay, so a couple things happened right here. We got another train station for our network because I've surrounded it by 3. We have sequestered another cattle ranch from everywhere else on the board, so that will score us that. And we also got a gold nugget. So we'll cross that out, showing that. So still like to connect right there. But let's go ahead. We have 2 more turns left. Burn a card, burn the ace. We have a jack and a heart. So I think we'll definitely take the heart. I could do a couple things with that heart. And yeah, I think we'll take the heart. So we'll take a jack right there. That at least gets us a 1 pair. Fortunately, we're not going to get 4 of a kind because there's already a jack out here, and we're going to not be able to use that jack. So let's see. So what do we do with this? Well, we can connect right there. That's not a bad thing because not only does that extend our network, but we definitely get to a town. I don't get to circle that town because it was already previously circled. But I have 2 tracks left. What do I want to do? Well, I think we will. I think we'll go 1 and 2. And that sequesters this this cattle ranch. So we're going to go ahead and circle another cattle ranch right there. Okay, this is it. And we have one town left. We'll burn a card. And we have 10 and hearts, ace of hearts. So let me think about what we want to do. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we are going to take the 10 of spades. And if I took the ace of hearts, that would have given us 2 pair, but the 10 is going to give me 2 pair anyway. I think it's better to get up into this area up here and connect this, because I will sequester 2 cattle ranches, which is great. That's great. And by connecting another town, we can burn through our towns too. So we'll get to lay some additional track. So heart-wise, but I could go. No, I think it's better to get to block these guys off right here. So we're going to go ahead and use the 10 of spades. And so that gets me 3 tracks. So we are going to go 1, 2. I circle a town. And by doing that, I have 1 track left. But if you'll notice, I've now sequestered this cattle ranch and this cattle ranch. So I get to circle 2 additional cattle ranches. That's huge. That's 27 points. And I still have 1 track left to run. And I have 2 towns left as well. So I could possibly cross the river. I could cross the river here and get at least a gold nugget. Yeah, I can't. There's nothing for me really to do up here. So why don't we go, we'll use 1 track right there. So we have no more tracks left, but I have 2 towns. If I cross off this town, oh, I can't do it. You know what? That's not really going to help me here. Because I can't do a shortcut over the river. I'd have to use 1 to go here. Then I would have to use the other one to cross the river, and I wouldn't have anything left to get a nugget. So let's think. Is there anything else we could do? We could branch off. That doesn't really help me. No, these guys are already sequestered. It really doesn't help me at this point to do anything. So I think that's pretty much it. Well, I could have done 1, 2, let's see, if I did a shortcut there to, well, okay, I guess there's a way to get 1 point. So let's back. No, I can't do that either, because I already left from this station here, or from this edge, so I can't use that as a shortcut. And I can't use that as a shortcut. No, I think we're done. So it doesn't really matter that I cross that out. I don't think I can do anything else. So let's go ahead and get our score here for this. I got 2 pair. That would be 2 points, but I have the casino, so that's 4 points right there. So let's get on to final scoring. Okay, moving on to final scoring here. So we are going to sum up everything down here. I have 4 and 1, that's 5. And 6 and 4 is 10. So we have a total of 15 points right there from our poker hand. And moving up to gold nuggets, whether I put these in the bank or not, it's just how many ever I've circled. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 points right there. Now, we total up how our score from what we put deposited in the bank times our multipliers here, add that up for this score. So 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. So that was a total of 13 points right there. I have 4 points because I circled 1 fort. See, if you got 2 forts, it would be 12 points. 3 forts, that's pretty good at 24 points. Moving on to cattle ranches, the highest number I have is 27. And now what we want to do is look at how many towns are connected by our longest network. That is of connecting towns and stations, and we would then multiply it by the town, or excuse me, the multiplier that is circled. Because I've got 2 railroad stations, we're going to multiply it by 4. So looking at our network here, well, down here in clubs, I only have 1 town. This does not connect to any other town. Up here in diamonds, I only have 1 town. If I would have connected here, that would have been 2 towns, or down here, possibly 3 towns, but that's only 1 town. Let's move on to spades. What do we have? I think it's pretty much going to be a tie between, these are of the same network because these are joined together. So hearts, I have 1. Spade, it's actually, let's go with spades, because spades here, we've got 1, goes all the way down to 2. So it's basically 2. Could have done better on that, but that you know, it is what it is. 2 times 4 is 8. And then finally, how many towns, whether we use them or didn't use them. And in this case, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got a grand total of 6. We are not penalized in any way, shape, or form. We completed all 4 of the objectives. So we just have to hopefully add this up and beat 60, and which I think we're going to go ahead and do. I'm going to cheat and use a calculator here because my math skills aren't the best in the world. So starting here with 15 points, and we'll go add 8 plus 13 plus 4 plus 27 plus 8 plus 6 for a grand total of 81 points, which is much better than the 60. So we definitely won. That is more or less Pioneer Rails in the solo version of the game. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any comments, please go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. But again, my name is Jason, and thank you for watching Pips-N-Chits. Maybe we'll go ahead and play this again. Maybe we'll play a medium difficulty, or who knows, maybe we'll come back if you guys like. Let's play a slightly larger map, and maybe we can introduce some new components to it as well from the expansions. You guys go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, I'll see you at the table.